The China threat, the latest great challenge to our great nation, but not the first. America has always had nations wanting to challenge us from our inception. Let's look back. For example, Great Britain wanted to kill us at birth. Failed. Thanks, France, for the help. They came back 30 years later for revenge, eventually converting from enemy to ally when they failed both times. Fast forward to the 20th century. Brought one persistent enemy more than anybody else. Had to be Germany, sucking us into World War I, a combined win for the U.S. and allies, but they weren't done then. World War II pops up. America finishing them off for good, even though they combined with fascist Japan. Remember that. Again, we would convert both nations from enemies to allies. But before we could then even celebrate victory in Europe or VJ Day with victory in Japan, Americans were embroiled in a Cold War with the Soviet Union that would last 45 years, ending in 1989. We'd win again.
Television is a historic moment, a moment that will live forever. You're seeing the destruction of the Berlin Wall.
Yep, remember that? Optimists predicted a century of peace and prosperity. But instead, emerging from the Far East, our most formidable foe by far, China. We helped them modernize their economy, finance their military, allowing them to steal our technology, brought them into the World Trade Organization, and now the monster we created wants us vanquished. The problem is, this administration is having trouble even believing it.
I stress that direct engagement and sustained communication at senior levels is the best way to responsibly manage our differences and ensure that competition does not veer into conflict. And I heard the same from my Chinese counterparts.
Oh, and you believed it? The good news is both Democrats and Republicans are not waiting for the White House to sober up.
Need them to take off the golden blindfolds and to accurately assess the risks of continuing to do business with a genocidal regime that could provoke a war at any second.
You think? This growing economic power, fresh off a poisonous pandemic originating from their shores, from their lab, killing more than 1 million Americans, is now more determined than ever to do what Hitler, Stalin, and King George could not do: take America out. The biggest piece of evidence? The communist regime is storming a base in Alaska, cutting off our destroyers in the Taiwan Strait, taunting our jets over international waters, and unleashing TikTok, now the #1 app in America, deceiving 150 million American users into giving up their personal data, all in the name of entertainment and entrepreneurship. The app finally admitting this week our intel is in fact being sent back to China, as we feared, as we suspected. Now, in case you think the danger is so far away that it doesn't affect you, think again.
They're designed to monitor transmissions, telephone communications, radio communications, if they're very sophisticated, even satellite or internet communications. We've got a Navy base right there in Cuba, and we have potential to thwart this capability.
Yeah, we better get on it, don't you think? They are at our doorstep. A military training facility in Cuba, 4 separate locations right off our shores, 90 miles, and they're impinging on our allies, unifying our enemies against us. Now, in my view, you cannot even think about being a 2024 candidate, and certainly not be the President of the United States, without a comprehensive plan to fight off this comprehensive threat. If anyone understands that, what we're up against is Senator Lindsey Graham. He doesn't care about Democrat or Republican. He cares about Americans. And, Senator, am I right? This is our most formidable foe to date?
Yeah, well, you know, communism is the enemy of freedom. The Soviet Union collapsed because Ronald Reagan and everybody before him stood up. Now we're bending down to China. I cannot believe the Secretary of State would go to China uninvited after China sets up a spy shop in Cuba. That's the wrong approach. China sees that as weakness, and it all started with Afghanistan. Because what happened in Afghanistan? The weak way we left gave them the opinion that America is weak? Well, do you think it's an accident that Russia invaded Ukraine after Afghanistan on Biden's watch? No. They sense weakness. If you want to beat China, you better win in Ukraine. If Putin is able to destroy Ukraine and keep moving in Europe, there goes Taiwan. So China is watching what to do. China's going to go to a 440-ship Navy by the end of this decade. Under the budget deal that came out of a Republican House, we go from 298 ships to 291. So if you're running for president, I want you to show me how you're going to build the Navy up to 373 ships. The CNO of the Navy, Chief of Naval Operations, said we need 373 ships to adequately protect America. So I'm looking for leadership on China and other things. If you're president, if you're the Republican nominee, what would you do about the spy station in Cuba? How would you handle the growing imbalance in military power? What would you do to protect Taiwan? All of these things matter, and I hope people are asking the hard questions like you are.
All right, I do, and I hope people realize you can't look past it, and you can't trust anything they say, even in the trade deals we were working on. I want to fast forward to another big story, I believe, and that is the charging of Hunter Biden. All of America wants to get past the fact that somebody has a drug problem, they get addicted, they do terrible things, understood. But it's never been about Hunter. After a 5-year investigation, it is revealed that he's got 2 misdemeanor charges, which makes no sense, especially in light of these whistleblowers that have come forward and talked about what really went on for 5 years. So, Senator, from what you know, what do you think about the investigation after these whistleblowers have come forward? Then I'm going to reveal a text message that everybody has to question what is really going on here.
Well, the first reaction I have after seeing the whistleblower testimony is to call Attorney General Garland back to the Judiciary Committee and get him to reconcile his statements with the whistleblower testimony. What have the whistleblowers told us? That Weiss, the U.S. Attorney in Delaware, was overseeing the investigation of Hunter Biden. He tried to get charges filed in the D.C. district, and the U.S. Attorney there said no. He tried to get special counsel status to give him power. He was turned down. He tried to get California U.S. Attorney to help with charging of Hunter Biden. He presented more aggressive charges that were denied by DOJ. If these accusations are true, the question becomes pretty simple. Did Attorney General Garland know that Weiss wanted special counsel status? And if he didn't know, how come? Did he know that charges were denied being filed in D.C. at Weiss's request? So the statement by Attorney General Garland, he had nothing to do with this investigation, needs to be revisited in light of the whistleblower testimony.
For some reason, they thought it would be a good idea to go into business with an energy company that was affiliated with the Chinese government. Right there, you lost me. But having said that, he's a private citizen. Hunter Biden's a private citizen, so he does this deal. So they go into the WhatsApp laptop, and it finds out a text message that is very revealing, July 30th, 2017. Hunter Biden to his business partner in China. I'm sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. I'll make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I'm sitting here waiting for the call with my father. Your reaction to that?
Incredibly disturbed by that scenario. We have now evidence that Hunter Biden's communicating with a businessman in China who's connected to the Communist Chinese Party in some kind of business deal that's gotten off track. Imagine for a moment it was Don Jr. sending such a message to a Chinese business official connected with the Chinese Communist Party, saying, "My dad, Donald Trump, sitting here with me. You better pay us soon." We're not going to let this go. This is a stunning accusation. The text needs to be explored. Somebody needs to find out, is it accurate? Was Joe Biden sitting there? What was the relationship between Hunter Biden and the Chinese businessman? And what role, if any, did President Biden play? President Biden has denied being involved at all with Hunter Biden's business efforts. Well, if this text message is true, then President Biden was actually sitting there, then everything he said before has been proven wrong. So this is a big deal.
Senator Graham, what was also revealed is the FBI knew definitively, according to this whistleblower, that the laptop was real in the fall of 2019. They checked his Apple ID, went back and forth to do what the FBI does. That means, and I don't know the answer to this, does that mean that Bill Barr knew about this laptop? Does that mean Donald Trump knew about this laptop? Because the first time I thought this laptop became public knowledge was Rudy Giuliani getting the hard drive and the New York Post publishing the story. So did they keep the laptop from President Trump? Did he know about it?
Well, that's a really good question. But here I can tell you a little bit of breaking news here. I now am 100% confident that the Attorney General in Delaware, Mr. Wise, was briefed about the 1023 allegation that there were recordings involving Hunter and Joe Biden in Ukraine, that they were briefed about that accusation. The question is, what did Weiss do to run that lead down? What kind of investigative steps did he take to find out if it was true or misinformation? But I now can tell you and your audience that Mr. Weiss knew about the allegation contained in the FBI document. The next question is, what did he do? At the end of the day, the question is, if you knew about the laptop, did you tell the senior people in the Department of Justice about it? Is the thumb been on the scale the whole time is really the question. But the idea that Mr. Weiss knew that there was allegations that there were phone calls between a Burisma official, Joe Biden, and Hunter Biden.
Right.
We now know, I know he knew that. What did he do to run it down, if anything?
Looks like nothing. Senator Lindsey Graham, you'll get to the bottom of it if anyone can. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.